right, welcome
Welcome.
to Podcast Idea. Which episode are we on?
12.
12?
I think so.
Okay,
Or
great.
13.
We're episode
12. 12.
12.
12.
12. 12. Okay, whatever. I always forget. Okay, let's get started. I missed this, actually, because I haven't been here for 2 weeks. I haven't had David on for 3 weeks. So we're just going to discuss some of the things that we've missed and some of the things that we don't know. So, David, why don't you start us off? Why? Just what have you done in those 3 weeks? What's new?
Nothing really. Been studying. We're selling our house, so there's some work in that.
Okay.
So
Moving.
yeah,
As well.
moving or not yet, but selling the house.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, like photography and stuff like that. So that took some time, but now we're back. Or I'm back. You're back.
We're back.
You're back from Stockholm.
From debate. Yeah. Should we start off with that right away?
Go ahead.
Okay. So last week we didn't have an episode because I went to a debate tournament. We've talked about debate with in episode 5 with Daniel because he's like the president of our club. But yeah, so we had the tournament. That was nice. It was great because like it was my first tournament and it was very good practice. My team did really well. We were actually novice champions. So like it's not like we won the whole thing. We won the novice finals. So that was nice. I was actually the worst one in my team, style wise, which was great also. No, but it's like I spoke to some of my friends and they said that I'm good at making points, but I have to work on my style, which like just to make it clear, style is more to do with like how you present the points and emphasis in words, body language, all of that, and yeah, so that can give you points as well in debate. It's not all about the points that you make to destroy the other team. Also, because of the structure, I don't know if you know the structure of debates.
No, I do not.
Okay, so you have first, second, and third speaker. First presents 2 points usually, and then no rebuttal. You know what a rebuttal is? It's like when you get back to an argument, it's a counter argument, pretty much. The second speaker does rebuttal and then the third point. And the third speaker is rebuttal and then they usually reconstruct their points. And I'm usually a third speaker, but I did second speaker as well in this because I'm better at making the points. But yeah, I still need more practice. So I actually spoke to Daniel and we're trying, I'm going to try to make a new meeting. So like training twice a week and stuff. But, well, just to cut to the chase, why I actually want to talk about this is mostly because of the impact this can have if we can use it well. Especially, like, we talk a lot about business here, so especially there. Well, from your stance, from what I've described, do you think that's useful in any way? Like, if you had a
Debating
business-
skills?
Yeah, debating skills
Of
or
course.
argument.
Of course.
Why?
I mean, because
Chime in.
reason being is that in life there are a lot of things that you believe in certain things, right? And then it's good to have like good persuasive skills because you're able to influence other people, tell them what you think, and tell them why you are right, for example. And so it can be very useful in day-to-day life.
Yeah,
Wait.
but sorry.
Yeah, no.
No, keep going.
No, I'm just saying that persuasion skills, I guess,
Uh-huh.
come from debates, or I guess you learn those
Yeah.
certain skills when you're debating.
Not only that, but like we talk about ideas here. So like if you're pitching an idea, especially you want to be persuasive. You want to get to the person and you want to say, "Hey, that's why you should like this idea." And debate is all about that because you don't in most debates because there are 2 types of debates. One that you know like exactly what you're gonna do, but you have an hour to prepare, no phones, nothing, impromptu. And another one that you don't know which side you're gonna fight for. You prepare for both beforehand, and then once you get there, you know like, oh yeah, now I'm gonna be opposition or proposition. So it's not about arguing for your point of view, it's about arguing for a point of view. And that's what I think is very interesting. We can develop arguments for both sides, and thus, if you're in the opposite side of the one you believe in, it's even more useful because then you really understand what you don't agree with. But yeah, persuasion skills. If you're having a presentation, public speaking in general, it's better. This helps me a little bit. Of course, I wasn't very good, but I feel like just to quickly get into that, the reason why I didn't do so well stylistically was because I was probably concentrating on making points and trying to get my point across rather than the way I did it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it was more on that, and maybe just because I wasn't thinking too much about how I was saying stuff, and sometimes I lacked structure because like you write, especially as a third speaker, you have to write your speech while you're watching the debate because you're like answering their arguments that you don't know beforehand. So there, you can lack structure. In the first debate, I wrote all over the place, and I was like, I don't know what to do, right?
But wasn't this your first trip as well?
It was. So it was the first tournament
So
that I
you
had.
recently joined the debate club, right?
April.
April.
Like my team joined in September. So they're like 1 or 2 years younger, depends on the person there. But yeah, they did really well. They really did. Like the first speaker for our team, which is the one that presents most points and stuff, he actually got best novice speaker in the whole tournament.
Cool.
That was great. I mean, yeah, but really to connect that into why it's actually important, I feel like if you're just making a presentation, or be it in a company that you're trying to, like, I don't know, impress a boss, or just being the boss and getting the support of your employees, that also helps.
Basically getting your point across.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah. And yeah, it has to do with all those emotional skills that I've been talking about in the other podcasts as well. Like to do with emotional intelligence, they all play a role when you're trying to persuade someone, right? You go for empathy if you want to like show that you care about those people, and or you care about a certain group of people that you're trying to say, hey, we care about them. Let's not be assholes to them, or let's not do this because it's going to be harmful for this stakeholder.
But since this was your first trip, what was it that was like, or was it according to what you
Expected?
Yeah, like did it meet your expectations? Was there anything that was different? Like what is it like? Because I've never done it. Or actually, I've done something similar to this. I'll get to it afterwards.
Okay.
But, what did you think?
Look, I expected it to be somewhat like that, and I feel like the main thing was that it was nonstop. It was only 3 days, but it felt like I was telling you beforehand. It felt like a week and a half, because we had so much to do. Like in one day, we had like 6 debates? No, 4, whatever the number. But it was like debate, prepare for the next debate, lunch, prepare for next debate. So it was one after the other. But it was great. I feel like it was very nice because it was a great experience with the team. Even though in the next tournament, if I do go, because it's my last year in school, right? There's only one tournament I can go to again, and that one is like 2 weeks before my test. So it's very unlikely that I'll go. But if I do go, it might not even be the same team. Regardless, it was very nice to actually hang out with those people more. Even though it was a lot of work, it was always together, right? And it's nice, like in the prep room that we say, like when we were prepping for the debate, it's nice to know how to make the points. And that I didn't really have an issue with. It was more like the presentation and stuff, which is, like, if I didn't care about that, I wouldn't even go to many meetings anymore or put any effort. But I feel like that's important.
And what was the atmosphere like? Was it like, did you find it stressful to come up with points on the spot?
Look, a lot of people did. I feel like because of Yeah, David just has to turn on and off the camera. Same thing as before. Yeah. So it was stressful. At some points, you had to be stressed, otherwise you would just take too long to do something. But at the same time, if you have the right mindset, like we say all the time here, if you want to, you don't need to be stressed. Like you just think, let me do this now, let me do that now. One problem at a time. You won't be stressed. That's just the truth of it. Like if you have emotion, which is like just like what you're arguing for, and you have to create points. You go, oh, I'm gonna create points now. Now I'm gonna do I'm preemptive rebuttal. So I'm gonna try to think of what they're gonna say and respond to it. So you do one at a time. If you do that, you're not gonna get stressed. But sometimes you have to.
Yeah. Do you remember this is actually where I did debating once?
Okay.
Do you remember in ISGR we had a day and like for me it was 8th grade,
Okay.
for you it was 9th grade.
Ninth grade.
Do you remember that we had like a debating day where we went into like the aula?
Not with you guys. I don't remember that.
Because I think it was with MYP as well.
Okay.
It was like a day
Okay,
of
explain.
debating. And it was
All right, just for some context. Same school. We were in the same school,
Yeah.
and you were in the national section, international
Exactly.
section. Okay, keep going.
So it was a day basically where we were debating, and you had to come dressed up and stuff. And then I think we had like, or it might have been during the afternoon and like, yeah, during the morning or something. We were preparing for the debate, and yeah, it was something like that. I think it was to raise awareness for something. I don't know, but it was like a whole day. Maybe it was 2 days, and one day we did preparation. I remember because we were mixed like classes. We were with MYP as well.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
It was the whole school that did it. Anyway, and then we came up with like arguments and stuff. And then the next day we were debating. Right, we were in the aula, and then it was basically the same thing that it was first, second, third speaker, and then it was pretty much that you and the team had to come up with arguments like on the spot and basically counter the arguments, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't one of the speakers, but I saw like how stressful it was for some
Yeah.
people. I just saw them, writing. And I can imagine if you're a slow writer or if you're thinking about it
Oh,
a
you
lot,
can't do
it's
that.
like it's
No.
like no way. It's like what are you gonna say, And then it's like, okay, I don't know. Is it 1 minute, 2 minutes? How much time do they have?
What? To
Just-
speak?
yeah.
8.
8?
8 minutes.
8?
You have
Okay.
to speak for 8 minutes.
Do you have to?
Yeah. Like if you speak for 7, it's kind of all right, but you should go for 8.
Wow.
And
I
if
thought
you-
it was okay.
If you go for 6, it's weak.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends, right?
Okay.
But you shouldn't lack time when you speak for 8 minutes.
Mhm.
Like, oh yeah, I could speak
All
for
right,
10.
because then they might have like modified the rules or something for us because it might have been easier.
No,
like,
they have many different sets
Oh,
of
okay,
rules.
okay, okay. I think it was shorter, but I
Uh-huh.
don't remember on 100%. I remember there was this girl in my team that went up, and I think she started crying. Like after a while,
Oh,
she just went
no.
up, and yeah, like, it was just bad. It was really bad, She was super stressed out, and
Yeah, I
she didn't
feel
know
bad.
what to say, and then she just started crying. Went off stage. I was like, yeah,
Yeah, that's all
okay.
nice. That's all nice.
So I think she definitely got stressed, about it.
Yeah.
And I think it has to do with the mindset as well. Because if you're like, okay, I'll do this, no problem, I'll just go up and talk about it,
Uh-huh.
or debate for it, then, I think you can. I think you don't need to, or I wouldn't say need to start crying, but you know what I mean.
No, yeah.
You can avoid it.
Yeah. Again, it's good to be in that situation so you practice
Mm-hmm.
for being in stressful situations.
I guess
And
these
how to cope with.
situations don't really happen in the debate club because it's more professional, or has similar situations.
What? Crying?
Or like or pretty
maybe
much
not
getting
on
like
stage,
like
but,
panic attack or something, just going off.
Could
stage.
happen. Could happen.
Yeah,
But
could
usually you train for that,
Mhm,
right?
yeah.
So like we did debates like almost every week
Mhm.
before. But it was only like 4 or 5 times.
Mhm.
So it wasn't that much. So it really depends. It depends on your mindset. So it's a good way to find how to cope with it
Mhm.
from your own self. But yeah, I was just gonna tell you there are many different types. I heard of this type. I might butcher it, but
Mm.
it's like I think it's British Parliament style, and you have two speakers in each team, and you don't only debate the other team, you debate your own teammate, saying that's why my point is better than his point or their point.
Yeah, I think it was something to do with EYP, by the way. Remember, it was the EYP days. Remember?
No.
Ninth grade.
No, I don't.
Anyway, I think it was called the EYP days.
Okay.
Then when you came to school, you got a bracelet with where it said EYP.
Okay,
European Youth Parliament. You know?
Remember that? I didn't go to that.
Oh, wow.
I didn't
Okay.
go to that. I remember because there
How
were
come?
people from my class that did.
Oh, wasn't it the whole school?
No,
Okay, because I know.
maybe not me. I don't know.
Okay, because I remember that there were some people from MYP
Uh-huh.
or IHGR as well, so it was a little bit
Yeah.
mixed.
Okay.
Anyway, but I think that was the first debate for a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
And another thing, I don't know, since the speaker that goes up, they're representing one side, right? Your team.
Yeah, of course.
Or this happened on the EYP days, you know, and this girl who started crying as well, in the beginning when she started talking, she kind of went against herself or against her team.
Oh, yeah, that's
They
not
were
good.
debating about like feminism, and then she
Uh-huh.
was like, "Yeah, feminism is only for women," something like that.
Oh.
And everybody's like, "Ooh," you know?
No, but I mean that can happen. You can
And
make
since-
you can make a point, and
Yeah.
then the other team can say, "Hey, we have the same point, but this is why our point makes more sense to our side."
Yeah, but if you say something like that, you're pretty much representing your team, and it looks really bad for the whole team.
Can I give you an example?
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the motions there was like this house would give 2 votes to people of eligible voting age under 30. So like if you were between 18 and 30, you would get 2 votes instead of 1. Like your vote would be worth 2.
Okay.
Okay? So they were saying that's more democratic because it makes people more equal, right? Because they have less of a say. And then I just went up there and said, no, democracy is about the will of the majority. How are you taking a minority, giving them more say? How is that democratic to people over 30? So we had the same democratic point, but our side kind of made more sense, or we made it make more sense. That's the thing, because we had another debate. It was similar, but it could be one-sided. But the other team just did a much better job and they won.
Because I mean, honestly, if you come with a point like, for example, feminism is only for women,
Uh-huh.
I mean, you can pretty much roast that team. Like,
Yeah,
based on that
yeah,
point,
you can.
it's pretty much over. No.
Yeah, it really depends on the motion and how you actually do it.
But is it something that happens that they mess up for
Yeah,
like the
yeah, of
team
course.
like a lot?
Yeah, but the worst thing you can do is when they mess up and you don't call them out, because then you lose points yourself because you didn't realize they messed up.
Mm-hmm.
If you see they messed up, you have to point it out. You have to say no, that's not consistent. Yeah, but just to finish off, I just wanted to say like why I actually joined, and I joined because not only public speaking, but also because of this argument thing. So I feel like it's very useful for us to really nail it down when it comes to making your argument, making your point, and how that actually can help in business and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Is it your time to go? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you go. Okay. I feel like that's a good segue. Sorry. For the next part. Okay. I wanted to make a new segment. I didn't even tell you about this. I put this in the topics list, but
Okay.
it's an segment that I mean I've done it before. I just haven't formally said it, but I'll do it either way. Books
Mm-hmm.
and like current books, whatever you're reading, or if you're reading something, or if you read something and you want to bring it up. Do you have anything? I mean, I do, but I just want to know from your side. Anything you've read? I mean, listen to if you.
Yeah, I don't
wanna say.
usually read. I listen to audiobooks and
Yeah,
stuff.
me too. Me too.
But recently, I haven't read anything that I would like to bring up.
Okay.
No, not really.
Okay, so you remember that discussion that we had with Daniel and Casper
Mm-hmm.
that one day? It was episode 5.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, guys, check it out. Good episode. So,
By the
I
way, side note, what would be cool for a future episode?
Yeah?
If we both listen to a book that we've never listened before and then reflect upon that.
yeah, so that's the idea behind the segment.
Mhm.
I feel like we can do that, and I want to talk about some ideas that we can have for the podcast
Mhm.
next time.
All right.
But for this, I'm listening to a book. It's called Basic Economics by this
Mhm.
guy called Thomas Sowell. And this is like Daniel's a super fan of him and stuff, but it's actually a really good book. It's an economics book, sorry. But it has no jargon, very basic language, no diagrams, nothing. And anyone can understand, but it's very well, it's still complex in the sense that it explains to you what economics is about. Uh, Many people might say it's one-sided because it really argues for Daniel's side in that point, like less regulation and all. But at the same time, the arguments that the guy brings up and the evidence, it makes so much sense uh, for what he says. Like I haven't read the whole book. I'm like halfway through, but it's very interesting. Even if you don't agree with this, it's interesting if you just start listening to it. Look, I'll give you an example. He talks about how um, prices
Mm-hmm.
should set the market prices should be what sets prices of goods. Okay, and he argues for that because if the state sets the price for goods, then they are not going to be able to account for all the variables that prices do.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because prices, if you're an individual, you make your own decisions. You say, I'm going to buy that and I'm not going to buy that. I'm going to demand that guitar more than the shirt, more than the other guitar because that's cheaper and the
Mhm.
same quality. So there's going to be more demand for that guitar, right? But the government doesn't know all the variables that go into that, or everything that you're thinking about as an individual, and then combination of all individuals. Of course, I'm paraphrasing all of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an example, but it's very interesting how he argues for how prices should set, like how the market should actually set the prices.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Kind of.
I mean,
I
you
I
mean
wasn't very good
demand
at
when you mean market, right?
Uh, yeah, but I mean supply and demand.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, yeah, it makes sense.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But sometimes people say, "Oh yeah, you should put regulations there to move it." But at the same time, if you do that, you mess up with other stuff. Look, it's not like I know everything here,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
far from it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's interesting.
I don't know a lot about economics,
No.
but I'd love to learn about it. I might read or listen to that book
Yeah.
if you recommend it.
I do.
But it makes sense. But I haven't heard like the other side,
No,
like other
yeah, exactly,
alternatives. So
exactly.
that's why I'm kind of like,
It's just an example.
don't
It's
know.
the one from the top of my head.
I mean,
That's
yeah,
what
it
I
makes
got.
sense, you know. But I don't know. There might be other alternatives, you know. So
I get it.
Yeah, to make a decision if it's good or bad, I'm not the person to do that.
No, of course not. But yeah, me neither.
But it makes sense.
It does, yeah. So I feel like it's interesting. I just wanted to bring it up. Of course, a couple weeks ago, I brought up the Emotional Intelligence. Great book. I recommend it as well. Crushing It, Gary Vee.
I read the first one, not the second one though.
Crush It.
Yeah, Crush It.
Yeah.
Might be. Yeah.
Yeah, Crush It is the first one.
And then
Crushing It is the second one. I've only listened to Crushing It.
Mm-hmm.
Great book as well. But yeah, I want to keep it going. So like, if we can get some books, you don't have to read the whole book, but like, if you get some ideas, then you bring it up.
Of course.
We're
Might
gonna
read
ask, the
Basic
guests.
Economics.
Basic Economics. Recommend it as well. Of course, as everything, like the other books, take it with a grain of salt, but it's nice. It's nice to get those perspectives in.
What does Daniel think about the book, by the way?
Oh, he loves it. Yeah, like it was, well, from what I got, it was one of the first books he read exclusively about about economics and explaining it, and he just thought it made so much sense. And like I agree. Like from what I've heard until now, it just makes sense. But yeah, but he's also read like I think he's read the Communist Manifesto and like these other books from the other side,
Okay. Yeah.
and he still believes that. This is something interesting as well. I just wanted to mention it. When you do go for books that are against what you believe in, just like we were talking about in debate, that's even more valuable because this way you can know what you don't agree with. You don't just go for what you agree with. It has to do with confirmation bias. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's when you only seek what confirms your belief.
Okay. Yeah. I got it. Yeah. I mean, I like reading both sides.
Yeah.
To see both sides of the argument. For example, I read a book. I don't know what it's called. I think it's called like the Soviet Union.
Okay.
It was my grandma's like friend's book, or they had it like laying in the house
Uh-huh.
because that's in Hungary, right? And Hungary was it was a like a, yeah
Yeah.
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 During like the Second World War, Russia
Uh-huh.
was there and stuff, and then it was communism was
Uh-huh.
so basically it's a communist book
Mhm.
and
For it.
yeah, basically for it, and it's about the Soviet Union and how great it is and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So it's actually pretty fun reading it because
Uh-huh.
it's totally different from what we read. So yeah, that was just an example to how I like reading like both sides, or at least knowing about the other side of the argument, like what they think, what they believe in.
Because if you only, sorry, yeah, I'm a bit sick. But if you only know one side, you can never really argue against the other side because you don't know what they're gonna say, right? So it's the same thing in debate. If you don't know, if you didn't listen to their points, there's no way you can rebuttal, right? You can try to think of what they're gonna say, but you're never gonna be sure what exactly they said. Well, to finish off,
You
I
want to
just-
finish off with the Cybertruck?
Yes,
All right.
exactly. I want to talk about the Cybertruck. Everyone's talking about it.
Everyone's
What do
talking
you
about
think? Because you asked me before, I didn't tell you, just because I wanted to talk about it here. Tell me, what do you
So-
think about the Cybertruck?
Cybertruck. Tesla. Elon Musk.
Yes,
It's different.
it's different.
It's,
Yeah, everyone's
very
saying
different.
that.
It looks kind of weird.
Okay.
Since, for example, if you take Volvo, for example, you see that they are, or for example, like the Cybertruck, it's very like edgy. It has an edgy look. It's very different.
Straight
If-
lines.
Yeah, exactly. If you compare it to, for example, Volvo, there are not a lot of like straight lines. They're more like,
No, it's curved.
yeah, it's more curved. And it's like, like the memes, like you draw
Uh-huh.
with a ruler and stuff.
Yeah.
give a third grader a ruler, that's what it draws. No, but it's very different. And different is not always bad. For example, 2006, 7,
Okay.
5, when the first iPhone got released.
7.
7?
Seven.
2007. Everybody was like, oh, that's super, it's weird.
It's weird, but
It was
revolutionary.
different.
Yeah,
It was different.
It was.
And now
Yeah, think different, right?
yeah, exactly. This might be the new, iPhone, if you know what I mean. The new
Maybe.
car. You never know. It's different for now, and a lot of people agree with that.
Uh-huh.
It looks kind of weird, but this might be, the future. This might be how cars look in the future. You never know.
It might. Look, I feel like they had to do something very different because they actually had a monologue I heard in the beginning of the show, just talking about how every car looks like the F-150, the Ford,
Yeah,
every pickup.
pickup truck.
And I feel like if they didn't do something that different, it would have just been the same. So the fact that they took that risk, I feel like that's very noble, first of all. And second, I feel like it could go well in the market because it looks kind of military and kind of like.
Why do you think they did something so weird, so special in the design?
Differentiation, because it's all about that. If you have something that's the same as something someone else's product, and but that person has more loyalty, you're not going to get more demand. You're not going to get a bigger piece of the pie. You have to do something different. And usually, what Tesla does is that they have electric cars, and the fact that they're fully electric gives them more demand because it's more environmentally friendly, it's more high tech, all of that. That's all different from other cars. But if you're talking about a market that maybe doesn't care as much about that or doesn't believe in climate change or whatever it is, they won't care if it's just another F-150 with a battery. It doesn't matter. It's going to be the same car. So just because of that, they had to change it. They had to make it different.
You know what I think regarding the market?
What?
It's free advertisement. If you think about it,
Yeah.
look how like different it is.
Yeah.
Even the people who hate it, they talk about it. It's like an ad, right?
Exactly.
Oh.
Sorry, that's my phone. Keep going.
They're talking about it, you know, and even though they don't like it, they talk about how bad it is, you know. So it is advertisement in a way. And if you look at all the memes and stuff,
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows about it. It's
That's intentional as well.
Yeah.
If they did something that was different, but not too different, then it would have been a little too conservative, and maybe they wouldn't get that much.
yeah. If we
traction.
take an example, for example, let's say
Example, for
Volvo announces a new car.
Yeah.
Like,
It's always
say
Volvo with you, right?
Yeah. Let's say you know, like the XC40.
Okay.
It wasn't like a bunch of memes like, whoa, look at this XC40.
No,
you know?
no, but it was
kind of it was a little bit different, but it's still a regular car, you know?
Exactly.
But it's like there weren't a bunch of memes about it and stuff.
No.
You know, but the Cybertruck, since it looks so different and it looks so weird, basically, compared to the other cars we have nowadays, is so basically it's free advertisement for them.
I feel like this is one of the. This has to do with one of these big pillars that I think about sometimes, and that one is, oh sorry, change. Change. What do I mean by change? When we have something that's a big change, like the iPhone you said, smartphones from TVs, radio to TV, newspapers to radio, whatever, if we're talking about news. All of that is scary because we are used to the status quo. We're used to the norm, whatever it feels normal, because that's easier to grasp. It's easier. It's less mental exhaustion because you don't have to think about it. You already know what to do, right? When there is change, it promotes quote bad behavior, just or like towards it, just because it's new, right? But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It could feel like a bad thing because of human nature. But because it is still innovation, it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
It's necessary for us to change. And change is good because it leads to innovation. I feel like I'm just going in a circle, but I think you get my point, right? If we don't have change, we're going to be stuck in the same plateau.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, this pre-order thing,
Yeah.
How-
$100, right?
yeah, they have like 220,000 pre-orders. What was
Yeah,
it?
200,000 or something.
Okay, yeah. Anyway,
I think.
a big number for $100. What do you think is the reasoning behind that?
Well, what do you mean?
Like why did they put it at $100?
Look, I feel like I don't know why 100 specifically, but if it was like less than 100, maybe people would just buy it and then not want it afterwards. And if it's more than 100, people might complain, "Oh yeah, it's too much money." But I guess it's more of an arbitrary number.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
how is it possible that you can pre-order a car for $100? How is
You
it?
think it's too low?
Yeah. How are they what's
I don't
Like,
know.
how are they gonna
I
pay
don't
for
know.
it?
I can't answer that question. I don't know.
okay?
Like
what's
it's
your
not
guess?
like they're gonna pay for it, but sometimes you pre-order stuff well, sometimes you pay the full price,
Mm-hmm.
but I've heard of just pre-ordering something for free.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying,
Yeah, or
"Well, I will buy
sometimes
it."
you pre-order something for like a lot of money, and you get a refund like for the rest.
Yeah, but that one, the $100, it is refundable. So
Yeah, I actually heard it was like a highlight, or not a highlight, but a video. You know, Unbox Therapy.
yeah,
Lou,
uh-huh.
they have a second, or he has a second channel.
Lou
which
later,
was-
is it?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
something
it's
like
the
that.
podcast one.
Yeah, exactly. And it's with this other dude, Ryan, I think is called, or something like that. Anyway,
Ryan?
doesn't
I don't
matter.
know.
And there basically he was talking about this. You know, how can you order a Cybertruck for $100? You know, it's fully
Uh-huh.
refundable. And he was thinking about, it's like, okay, why is it actually 100? And as you said, if it would be under, it's like kind of it's like unserious. You know, there's not a, you know. But if it's over 100, you know, 1,000, it takes too much time to think about, you know. $1,000, do I really need a Cybertruck, you know, whatever. But $100, it's in the middle. It's like, okay, I'll put $100, you know, I'm into game. And I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, this is what he said as well, that if you get an email saying, okay, thank you for pre-ordering the Cybertruck, can you have more fun for $100? Like,
Yeah.
honestly, if you get that email, I mean, that's worth $100.
Come on,
You just order
yeah.
a Cybertruck.
Maybe. I mean, just the fact that you
Order
ordered it, yeah,
confirmation.
sure.
That must be hilarious to get that email.
Yeah,
Um,
no, it's great, but I feel like it's great. It's just like when Elon did the flamethrower one. It's just great advertisement, and it
Mhm.
comes from like a good place as well. So I love it. I feel like it's a great example
yeah,
to.
it's a
to
smart
follow.
thing to do as well.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Anything else?
No, I
No?
don't have anything else to add, actually.
All right, great. Okay, so we're just doing a short episode this time, but we are from feedback that I've been receiving and David as well. We're gonna try to keep it a little bit shorter, the episodes, maybe under 45, but this should be more chewable, I guess, palpable.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put this, but we'll see. Well, we're trying to just to quickly talk about what we're doing for the podcast. I'm trying to work on getting highlights more, so we're gonna be working on Instagram feeds and maybe even another channel or more videos in this channel. And maybe I didn't even mention it to you, but I want to try to get, of course, at least one episode a week, but maybe even a bonus one. So for those who listen until this point, maybe, okay, maybe. But now you know, a bonus video that would film probably in the same day, but release it midway through the week, around the same length as well. But of course, when we have guests, we're not gonna cut the time that short or anything like that. We're just gonna keep it going. All right, that's been us.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'll
Catch
see
you
you
next time.
next time. See ya.